streamed live on the second channel. Alright, so in today's video, I got the Platinum Trophy on Resident Evil 2. Now, in the last video, I got the Platinum on Resident Evil 3, and yes, I know they are out of order. I might not have known that before doing this, but I can't count. However, I am also trying to knock out all of the main games on Resident Evil before the Platinum Challenge ends, and there's only a few more left now. But Resident Evil 2 has 42 total trophies, including the Platinum. And it takes a ton of playthroughs per usual with these games, but it also has a very confusing collectible method on first glance with the altering variations of the story. You'll know what I mean later. Anyways, this is also a part of a challenge where I've been trying to platinum over 100 games suggested by the community. And if I can't complete them all before the channel hits 850,000 subscribers, then I have to shave my head and look like a base character from a video game. So make sure to drop a like and subscribe. Stage 1 of this game is just play through the Leon storyline, getting every collectible, knocking out some easy combat trophies, and a few missables. So the game opens up with a scene showing us the truck driver munching on a very interesting burger before reaching down to change the radio and famously smashing into a woman on the road. He also almost crashed completely but saved it, and then got out to go see the damage. She is of course not okay, but I'm not sure what's more clapped, the dead girl or this dude's hairline. Baby Jesus above, save us all. Also, that girl just stood up behind him very ominously, and then it ended scene and swapped over to our boy Leon, who we are playing as in this playthrough. We watched him drive up to a gas station, get out, and it was completely abandoned, which is odd because usually gas stations are like beacons at night for lost travelers. And that's exactly why he went in to investigate it. Almost right away inside, he noticed something was up because a man was being eaten by another man. And we then took action and dropped him since that's not legal. Remember, Leon is a cop on his first day of the RPD police force if you don't know. But there was also a key in this room that we took and then used to get out of the place. After running outside again, we also ran into Claire, who was the other character we could have chosen to be, and a ton of enemies also showed up. So the two decided to hop in a police car and then just drive away. They then drove all the way to Raccoon City, which is where we were both headed as a matter of fact. Once getting there though, was police barricaded off because of the virus and countless zombies around the place. Also, that guy in his truck also showed up again, and he just floored it into us with both characters scattering separate ways, and us taking control of Leon once more. You then got to play again and had to run towards the police station, which was right nearby us. We also got the first trophy of the story right here, in addition to entering the place where the game takes place. Resident Evil 2 takes place in the Raccoon City police station almost entirely, and the main plot has us trying to figure out what's happened, where everybody went, and also uncover a giant mystery about the T-virus, seeing as it's literally everywhere and destroying everything. But the first major part or puzzle for this police station section had us after these 3 medallions to open a secret passage and get deeper in the facility. After traversing a little bit forward in the dark, we found another police officer, but he was struggling. We tried to pull him out from under this door. Now, we did succeed in doing so, but he didn't quite make it all the way out on our side, and his other half was on the other. But he actually had this journal and drew some pictures in it, cluing us into what I just said. The 3 medallions were depicted and all of that. You're telling me he was doodling this? Okay, I did. But then we straight up just ran away from some enemies and crawled under our own door before ending up in a similar situation as the cop we just saved. But this time a cop did save us in the same way we tried to save the other dude, and we of course didn't get cut in half because plot armor. This cop's name was also Marvin, and he is our sort of guide telling us some important information throughout the game. That is before he expires from the bite he has on his side. Anyways, right after that, in the same main room of the police station, we would end up finding the Lion Medallion, which is the very first of 3 and easiest to get because it's obtainable almost right away, as you can tell. And I would actually get my first trophy a few moments after when I got 2 green herbs from around the area and crafted my first healing item, which is also a trophy in many Resident Evil games. Next up in the story, we went down a hallway on the left side of the station. We ran into another policeman, but he isn't doing well. And I also got a trophy right near the area that police guy was in from boarding up a window, which someone said I should do in my chat actually, so shout out to that guy. But next I kind of just went after collectibles. This game has an insane amount of collectibles, and it quite literally drags out playthroughs so badly, it made this first one a drag beyond a drag. But I went into a room called the West Office, which is one of the first rooms yet again, and I got an insane amount of trophies within minutes of each other. The first one I got was from knifing an enemy to death, which I did on accident, but the knife is low-key goated in this game for some odd reason. And then I solved my first lock puzzle on a locked drawer right after for another trophy. And inside that locked drawer was my first weapon upgrade, which I used on my pistol to upgrade it and give me yet again another trophy for that. I then opened a safe right next door in a tiny office of the same room, which had my first hip pouch. And this thing just expands the inventory, but the first one also gives a trophy for getting it. And right after that, I stepped outside the room and shot the first raccoon statue, which was yet again another trophy pop. Sadly though, that was then it for the trophies for quite some time, and I got back to the story and exploration. I went to the armory and found a ton of lockers with loot, but you had to enter codes for all of them, and the keys were missing from the actual good items. Typical. I then headed upstairs, and on the second floor I found the next place we need to get to. It's a hallway with exposed hot water burning the entrance, so we can't go into it, meaning we now need to find a water valve to turn it off. And I also found this little mini safe that had a light puzzle on it, and for the life of me I could not remember how the the code went. It was genuinely sad, and for those of you that watched this on stream, I am insanely sorry. Like, this almost made me tear up from sheer disappointment because I sat here for 10 minutes just failing. But once I did get it, I got a trophy, which made it worth it. I then found the second medallion after that, which was a unicorn / horse one, and it was fairly easy to get just from traveling through the library. And once I left that room, I actually got jumped immediately and a zombie tried to eat us. But tapping L1 when having a quick weapon equipped does a little move that neglects any damage and actually helps kill the zombie. It's also a trophy when you do it for the first time in the game. Our boy Marvin then said hi in a cutscene again, and he's only getting worse from his injuries. But he wanted to show us that Claire made it to the station finally, and she's just outside enjoying the fresh air. So we actually went outside to say hi, which also triggered the crashed helicopter inside of the building to blow up and catch on fire. Now that's a crazy how I met your mother story, even though we already met her. So that statement makes 0 sense. What the f am I saying right now? Anyways, this part of the station also had the room with the valve we needed for that one water hallway a while ago, so I grabbed it, then headed back and used it to traverse forward. And that led us into the Star's office, which also had another key item inside, the battery. You then take the battery over to the electric device and power it up. The electric device, you might wonder, looks like it could go very well onto another explosive device, and you'd be right, my friend, because we then took that hoe over to an already planted C4. Side note, who the hell plants C4 and then just walks away leaving it there? And don't say Osama. But once you blow it up, you then enter a room with the final statue and medallion inside of it. So now that I had all three, I then went and activated the main statue in the central area, and it opened up a doorway for us to continue on into the depths of the station. We also said bye to Marvin, and he wanted to stay here because he's probably not going to make it. However, we gave him a gun, so he can now shoot him. I mean, actually, I don't know what he's going to do with it. But this new passage led us to an elevator that took us down kind of far into the ground below the station. And after some more traveling, we would end up in a big kind of water control room, which had a boss fight against William, the evil scientist dude that transformed himself into a monster. And the fight overall wasn't really that hard. I did dump a ton of ammo into him though, which was a common occurrence in my first playthrough here, and will bite me later on. But for now, I just won and didn't even get a trophy for taking him out, which is stupid. However, this led us to a ladder that led us once more into the parking garage of the station. While here, I couldn't go anywhere until interacting with this keycard door. Even though we have no keycard to open it, but this triggered a cutscene showing us an infected dog trying to eat us. And a girl named Ada showed up to take the dog out. She's a quote-unquote FBI agent, and I'm just gonna say this right now before anything else. Ada ain't even that bad, bro. Jill Valentine clears her by a mile. But she also just walked away from us, so that's rude. I then went into the prison down here because that's where the main puzzle is for the next part of the game. We have to activate this electric grid with 2 electronic parts. One is down here, but the other is back upstairs in the station. And this electric panel opens up the gate to get into this now dead guy's cell, who had his head squished. Watch the stream if you want to see this, I can't show it here. But he had the key cut around his neck that we were after. The first electric part was gotten from finding a key in the morgue and then taking it over to a door right next to it, opening it, and then just finding this box on the floor which had the first part in it. The second part, however, required us to go in a big truck throughout the station. But I'll just sum it up because I may have forgotten the details, seeing as I already had 0 clue how to do this puzzle. Before that though, I ran into Mr. X again, who is this scary guy, and I shot his hat off for a trophy. That also did piss him off, and I am kind of sorry. Anyways, back to the summary. We basically just got a large gear from an attic space, and then took it to another attic space, and then put it in a machine, which began to turn another thing, and it knocked the box holding the second part down. So we now have both of them, which led me all the way back to the prison. I did the little electric connection puzzle, which was a bit complex. However, I am stupid, so don't take that statement too seriously. And once I did get it right, the door opened. I got the key card, and we are now leaving this guy for second place. That is until the entire prison also opened up and a load of enemies started rushing us. Being the gamer I am though, I just threw a grenade into the mess, and that's a trophy for getting 3 kills at once with a sub weapon. Mr. X also showed up, and by the way, you cannot kill him at all right now. Just simply stunning him is all we can do. Once I ran past everyone, I made it to the parking garage, and Mr. X showed up again, but in a cutscene this time. It looked kind of dire, I'm not gonna lie, but then Ada ran him over with a car, and the car also blew up, so Mr. X might be a little more than stunned this time. After that cutscene ended, I then walked over to open the gate so we would both progress forward, which gave me another story trophy. The next part of this game then had us do a lot with Ada. In fact, she's sort of with us the entirety of this game in some sort of way. But we got led into a gun shop, and you'll recognize this one if you watched my Resident Evil 3 video, because it was also in that video, seeing as both these games kind of intersect with each other in an odd way. And I mean that literally, because I found a collectible here from Jill Valentine, which was a DLC trophy. I didn't realize that, which is why the trophy counter is 1 higher than it should be. I apologize. The game then took us into the sewers with Ada to try and sneak into this lab that she knows the location of. And on the way through it, the giant sewer monster ended up chasing us in a very simple and easy fight, ending with me just popping this already exploding pipe with a bullet. She then helped us up, and we walked a little bit further before reaching Annette, who is the second evil scientist of the game, and also the spouse to William, the monster scientist. A match made in heaven. But she began to run away from us and shoot, with Ada freezing up, making Leon jump in the way. This This then injured him obviously because bro took a bullet for a bitch, literally, and he had to rest, which then led us to Ada's gameplay section, good lord. And I actually did about half of it before realizing you can't use guns here for a missable trophy. Shout out once more to chat. So I reset and then did her entire bit with 0 shooting of my gun. And it's quite a lot harder, requiring a lot of hurting of zombies and lots of getting touched moments. But the final part had us in an incinerator that Annette trapped us in. My fragile baby brain couldn't figure it out at first try, so I died, and that's sad. Because this puzzle is easy as shit, and you literally just turn off the door's power to open it and escape. But that was then it for her gameplay bit, and we saw a cutscene of Ada falling off a bridge and landing in a trash compartment after hurting herself, which again swaps us back to playing as Leon for good the rest of the game. And I also got 2 trophies once we gained control from finishing Ada's section and without shooting my gun. But now as Leon, our goal is to get out of the sewers through one door in particular that was locked, with a chess piece puzzle door mechanism. And we have to go find the missing 3 pieces around the sewers, then bring them back and line them up correctly. Before finding them, however, I got a trophy from unlocking every lock in the game right here, which is cool, because missing collectibles is already on my 13 reasons why, and I don't need any more. And right before I reached the room that we had to get to with 2 of the 3 chess pieces in it, you can tell it's an important room by these scary lights and monsters in front of it, by the way. I actually had to go pick up my DoorDash order. Your boy got a little bit hungry during the 11-hour stream, and here's a pic of my food. Shout out American food coloring. The FDA is gonna kill us all. Oh my god! And while down in the room with the chess pieces we needed, there's a whole puzzle to get them, which isn't really that hard, but it's kind of confusing. And to blow off some steam, I shoved a grenade into an enemy's mouth and then shot it. God, I love that. I also then did a little side missable trophy, which was in relation to almost nothing in the story or goal we currently have. And I only did it because someone yet again in my chat told me to, and they were right. I think I actually trust YouTube live stream chat more than I have ever trusted a woman in my entire life, and that's insane. But I did the steps they said and went to these 2 locations after finding film roll collectibles, which had special items attributed to them, and I got the treasure hunter trophy from that. So then I headed back down, did the chest door puzzle finally, and moved on. We then had to get the power back on to open another big ass door and reach the trash room that Ada is in. And right after trying to head there, William the monster slammed down into our room, and we began another boss section with him because he isn't dead yet. It also led us out onto this crane platform that was holding up a giant crate. And you can get another missable trophy here from hitting him off with 1 swing of the crane. But to do that, you need to damage him quite a lot, so I did. Shout out to the flamethrower, the most mid gun in the game. But then once satisfied, I did smack him with the crate and it worked, which gave me the trophy. We then met up with Ada, who was nearby like I said, and she's also quote unquote injured, so we had to kind of do all of the work for her now. And as we were on this tram taking us to the secret lab down below, she kissed us. I never consented, however. F these double standards. Leon, be your own man, don't succumb to it. Fuck. The kiss did give us a trophy, however. So yeah, Jill's still better. Yeah, but when I do it, I get a lawsuit. What the fuck? Anyways, we are now in the lab, which is the final spot of the game. The main puzzle here is in regards to this canister that disperses gas, and we need to get it frozen so we can get a guy holding a security clearance knocked off of a wall. To do this, you first fill up the canister with a puzzle that I googled. You then take it downstairs to the low temperature testing lab and just freeze it basically. But no puzzle was required, so W Capcom. And then you bring it back to where we got it, disperse the thing, and the guy drops down with his clearance level falling as well, and I grabbed it. Before leaving this side of the lab, however, I also found another collectible for a trophy pop. The next side of the lab also doesn't really have any puzzles in it, but instead we sort of just got told everything that happened with the virus, at least in terms of William. He made it, then put it inside of himself in a rash of fury and turned into a monster. Annette also showed up again because William was here and she tried to kill him. Thought she did, but she didn't, so we had to fight the guy. And it was kind of hard, however, he had very obvious and clear weak points to shoot at, which made it relatively simple to win. And after I did, we then got numerous cutscenes. Once more with Annette, and instead of talking William, she talked Ada because she ain't no FBI agent and is instead a contract killer sent here to retrieve the serum we got from the lab and get out. So we confronted her about this and she almost shot us, but she couldn't do it. However, Annette could, and she did, making Ada fall all the way down to the depths where the hoe belongs. There was then a 10-minute timer that started to escape the facility by train at the depths of it or we die. And this is the final section of the story. It first had us run through basic enemies, but once reaching an elevator of sorts, a boss battle against Mr. X happened. Yup, he's back and hotter than ever. Literally, he's on fire. But I struggled a lot and it took me like 30 minutes to get past this. And before I play some clips of me raging, just know I had only one mag in my pistol and no other ammo besides flamethrower, which does like 0 damage. And I was also doing the no healing run on this one, so it made it even harder. And we're gonna take... Oh, bro, I can't... It's like I'm playing fucking Minecraft PvP. You can't do anything besides walk forward. What? There's more evasive maneuvers on Roblox, dude. Silence. I have a feeling the second I grab this rocket launcher, I am going to join my great-grandfather. It's... Fucking told you, dude. I told you I was gonna... god, you wanna... No way, I died again! Ah! Assisted difficulty, the easiest in the game. Did I win? All it took was one rocket launcher. Okay, so you're telling me my 400 magazine flamethrower couldn't have done that? Bruh. So yeah, I finally won the fight, as you all saw. That was completely and utter BS. But then we got to the train, which is the way out of this place, and Claire was here with Sherry, a little girl whom we will see very soon. And you basically just escape safely with some trophies popping at the end. First from beating Leon's story, then from never using the item box, which I was also doing, along with the no healing. And that's it for Leon's story for now. So I then headed over to do Claire's B version playthrough, gathering all of her collectibles, which she also has quite a few. And after finishing this playthrough, we will also get the true ending, which is a story trophy as well. But her version of the story followed pretty closely to Leon's, except with a few changes, obviously. For starters, you begin in the B location, which is actually the same for Leon, also in his B version of the story, so it's kind of not important. But you do fight the same first boss after doing the medallion puzzle. However, the big change begins in the parking garage, seeing as Ada is Leon's side character, and Sherry, the little girl, is Claire's. We were trying to help her and ourselves get out of here to safety because this is no place for a little girl, but after interacting with the parking garage keycard, it triggered a cutscene just like before. And we watched as an evil fat dude just strolled up to take Sherry away and put us at gunpoint. I'm not gonna lie, Claire didn't really put up a fight. It's almost like she forgot she has 3 guns in her inventory now, but that's fine, I won't judge. So now Sherry has been taken and we need to get out of the parking garage to chase her down and save her. And while doing the electronic panel puzzle, which did function a bit different than Leon's, I ran into a liquor enemy. Had to make sure I say that one with clear pronunciation, you know? But if you throw a flash grenade at them, you get a trophy. And once I did solve the electronic panel puzzle again, it had us in a completely different area, and instead of getting a keycard from a dead guy, we just went into the fat guy's office and he called us on a phone. A cutscene played and he said he's watching, which is hella suspicious. But then we got to play as Sherry in a similar way that we got to play as Ada. And I'm not gonna lie, Sherry's gameplay was shockingly fun to do. Probably because we aren't an entitled bitch, but also because it had a much more horror aspect than Ada's section. And there was a missable trophy right here from solving the room puzzle in under 60 seconds. It's done by grabbing a wooden block out of this teddy bear and then solving the block puzzle over in the corner. There's a method for this, but I don't know it. However, I did do it and I got these scissors from the box's secret compartment. I then cut open the exit to her room and the trophy popped in succession. So now we have to escape the orphanage, which is where we are for real this time. And after Sherry failed at grabbing the key to this place, the fat guy caught us in the act. But with quick thinking, she threw the chemicals on his face and he might not recover from that one. But then the game had a big chase section which led us upstairs and we had to do some hide and seek to not get caught. Now I did this first try as well because it's easy. But all you really have to do was hide in this corner and wait for him to realize his face is melting away, then steal the key again and actually run away. But the main door was chained from the outside, so we can't even get out of this place. And instead you have to run back to the room we stole the key from originally. The fat guy got us, but then William showed up and yeah, the fat dude is definitely not gonna make it now. Also, lore drop. William is Sherry's father, which is why he took her and didn't kill her also. You then see Claire hang up the phone, get the key card, and we got another story trophy. On the way to the orphanage, I also got attacked by a lot of dogs, and I shot one as it was on a fence, which qualified as it being in the air for a trophy from killing an enemy in the air. I then made it to the orphanage, and once inside, there was some collectibles here, including the last raccoon statue for that trophy popping finally. The orphanage section then just had us see the fat guy basically die, and we then found a ladder leading into the sewer. So then we had to do the whole sewer section again. I hate this part, by the way, but that boss fight with William did occur after at the crane platform, and I had a much harder time this run because I had 0 ammo yet again. Eventually, someone in my chat did say to just knife him with a flash grenade because the knife does double damage on high frame rate mode allegedly, which makes almost 0 sense, but it did work. So then we carried Sherry to the lab just like Leon did with Ada. The lab section was all the same, by the way, and even the William boss fight was also. But after that, we saw a cutscene of Sherry's mom, who was Annette, dying by her side, which is kind of sad. However, she said the entire place is blowing up as her last word, so it wasn't really a wholesome moment. And the two of us then headed out to the train to escape, but we actually had to start it up and then got confronted by the final boss of the game. And unlike the Leon playthrough, we actually got given things this time, and I had an entire fucking minigun to just spray and pray, which did work. And I killed the boss so fast I got a time limited trophy from it. On the train now, we were heading out of the lab and another boss showed up for some reason. This one was very odd, but you killed it with Claire stabbing its big eye, which then saved the day. Leon showed up and we all ended up outside of town a few moments later, walking away into the sunset as if nothing traumatic just occurred minutes ago, with 2 trophies popping for Claire's story and the true ending right after. And before beginning the hard mode playthroughs of this game for trophies, I did have to return back for one more Leon playthrough of his B version and get a few collectibles, which ended up taking another hour and a half of gameplay to get all of them. Yes, I played an hour and a half of this game for a single file, and I am not ashamed, because I got it and missed nothing this entire past 11 hours of collectible playthroughs. You could say I'm the GOAT or a virgin, whichever one you want to choose. So I then went to bed for the night and woke up the next day ready to platinum this game, beginning with a combination of stages 2 and 3 going for the hardcore playthrough S rating to cut out 2 playthroughs from this game. And I did this by purchasing a $5 separate DLC pack that unlocked every infinite gun in the game, including the infinite rocket launcher, which made this very, very easy to do. And I'm not going to go through these playthroughs again because they are very repetitive and I was mostly just lost the whole time. I never had any issues with time, however, finishing about 40 minutes ahead of the 2-hour cutoff in both Claire and Leon's runs, but I actually did do Claire's version first and finished within the time to get the hardcore trophy and the S rating trophy. I also walked less than 14,000 steps for another missable ending trophy during this, which was awesome. I then did Leon's version, and during the final boss fight against Mr. X, I managed to finish it in like 3 seconds. Been there, brother. But it gave me that boss's time limited trophy for winning within 5 minutes. And then I finished it off, got this hardcore trophy along with the S rating trophy, and only one more trophy remained now. And it was to beat the 4 Survivor game mode, which is a mode where you play as an agent and have a massive inventory full of weapons, having to run from the sewers all the way up through the station and back outside. It takes about 10 minutes of straight running to complete this, and I did die in my first attempt because I wasn't conserving ammo, and I also had no clue where I was going. But on my second try, I did get it, and it really isn't that hard to complete this mode, so here's that final trophy with the platinum trophy popping in succession. Easy, baby. 2 tries. I mean, first try. Shit. That was such an odd mode, but it's kind of cool. Very odd. Very odd. You set a personal... Thanks Resident Evil 2. All right, well, there's the platinum trophy for Resident Evil 2. Easy, baby. 14 hours or something? I think 14 hours is the time. So the guide said 30. We did it in about 14, 15. But yeah, that's all. Overall, I like this game a lot. I don't think I have yet to dislike a Resident Evil game so far, but I do gotta say this game had a very confusing story, and I still don't think I could tell you how its map works. Because with both Claire and Leon's versions being so similar yet so different, I just cannot remember the areas you're supposed to go to. It's actually down bad. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I'd like to keep streaming and adding some of my real-time reactions to the videos, so let me know in the comments. And I'm probably streaming right now actually, so yeah, come say something. I'm lonely as shit.